What is up, Packers fans? Welcome back to the Daily Draft. We're brought to you by Badger State Brewing and Brewski Light Lager. Beautiful brewery right outside of Lambeau Field, just minutes away walking or driving. And it is one of the finest places that I've had the opportunity to have a beer. We had so much fun last year at the live show. No live show for me this year as there is just too gosh darn much going on. And we will talk about that shortly. Today, this is a favorite of Packers draft nation, if you will. Um, I won't say constantly, but often mocked to Green Bay, and that is TCU wide receiver Jack Bech. Um, really interesting case. Was at LSU with some absolute dudes on his team, and actually outproduced some absolute dudes during their true freshman years. Then struggled with some productivity stuff. We'll get into that, but then was hyper productive this last year at TCU. So he's again productive in his final season in an offense that wasn't that great. Passer rating when targeted was an unbelievable 130.0 during 2024, which of course was his final season at TCU. This one will make Packers fans happy. He simply does not drop the football despite being insanely productive, receiving in a very high number of targets, a high target share in TCU's offense, being put in tough spots constantly, being counted on to convert first downs and things of that nature. He had one drop. He just doesn't drop the ball. Now, you can get a case of the dropsies just as fast as you can fix a case of the dropsies. So I don't know, but he's got good technique there as far as grabbing the football away from his frame. He's got 4 years of not dropping the football on film. I don't want to just earmark him as a possession guy, but he's a guy that doesn't drop the ball. And that's going to be something after this last season that Packers fans are going to be excited about. He's got the ideal frame at 6'1" and some change, and 214 pounds, not only just to play for the Packers, but to move all over the formation. And he did that, and we'll talk about that as well. He does not have to just line up at one spot and go. He can move all over your formation and be successful for you, I think, out of a number of different deployments. Consistently high points the football in jump ball situations, catches it at his peak, and frankly, has a size advantage on most of the defensive backs that are covering him. He just gets open, man. And I don't know if that's going to be necessarily borne out by like the athletic testing and stuff, but there is being good at football to being good at football. And he's got some of that. He's got some of that nuance, that ability to just beat guys and get open and, sell like he's going outside and go inside. I mean, he has some real just football ability to get open and is just damn good at playing wide receiver. And I like that. With that said, though, it is actually backed up by elite 3-cone and broad jumps. So he does have an elite explosive test and an elite agility test. So, some of that getting open is backed up by what he did in Indianapolis. And then, there's the whole being good at football part. He is an explosive and quick twitch athlete for a guy his size. And that's what you like to see when you're talking about getting open against NFL level athletes. He is snappy, especially for a big dude. I mean, he has the ability to create quick separation. Talking more about productivity, he converted 45 first downs in 2024. That's when you need him. He's the guy. Diverse in where he lined up for TCU. As I mentioned, can line up in the slot, can line up outside at either position. I think he can move all around for the Packers. I think we just talked about this in Trey Harris's deal. But look, man, they've got guys that, like Amari Rodgers and Randall Cobb and Jaden Reed, where they just kind of line them up in one spot. And then you got Jordy Nelson and Greg Jennings and certainly Christian Watson and guys that they'll move them around. Like, yeah, Romeo Doubs lines up outside all the time. James Jones lined up outside all the time. But the guys that they really love and the guys that are have been big time weapons for them, they line up inside and out. And I think that could be Bech. He blocks your ass. He does. And I'm sorry for saying ass, but he does. He blocks your ass. He is an impressive player in that way. And that's something that LaFleur will both appreciate in the run game, and no block, no rock means do block, do get rock. So maybe he'll get some targets in the passing game as an appreciation, and he runs well with the ball. He is a good yak guy, which is something that I think the Packers have struggled with, but I'll enjoy watching him run with the football. You know what else I would enjoy, folks, is if you bought the draft guide powered by Packer Report. Put a little money in my pocket, put a little money in the pocket of the boys. We work hard. We do this. Some of this is a labor of love, but you know what? I've got 2 kids. I'm starting to get to the point where I can't just do Packers content out of the goodness of my heart. And this would be a great way to support us. And it's not like it's a donation, folks. You're going to get some awesome Packers content, 7-round Packers mock draft, 225 plus player profiles, all with Packers fits. The Jacob Morley's tiering system. I'm going to probably write a feature for this thing. It's going to be awesome. And it's awesome every year. And just read the reviews, read what people say about it on the internet. You know, you don't have to tell, if you haven't done it before, just ask somebody. And you know what, if you have done it before, tell a bunch of friends, because we'd sure love to get that guide in as many hands as we possibly can. Jack Bech, cons. Is he slow? He didn't run in Indy, and I think there are some concerns there of his ability to run long speed. Is he a 4.51 guy? Is he a 4.59 guy? Is he a 4.6 guy? Yeah, I think some of those are in question. This isn't a huge deal, not a huge deal for them. He will turn 23 during the NFL season. So that's a touch on the older side. And the reason that I even bring up the fact that he's turning 23 during the season is because of that one big year of production. He was relatively productive as a freshman at LSU. And, Brian Thomas Jr., I believe, was on that team. Neighbors had to have been on that team. He outdid them. But then unproductive sophomore year, transfers to TCU, not particularly productive in 2023. And then boom, 2024 comes and he's putting out all this great tape, and you're starting to go back and look at him, as a true freshman at LSU and do all these things. But the lack of consistent productivity has to be listed here in the cons section. Because of that lack of long speed, I don't know if he's going to be that helpful on special teams. I don't think he's a return man, but I don't even know if he's like a rundown on kickoff guy or a punt cover guy. I think you could have other players do that. So if you're going to take Jack Bech, he has to make it on your offense. He has to be one of your best 4 receivers that you're actually going to put in the game, is on that developmental track, because I don't think he's going to do wonderful, wonderful things for you on the special teams side. Can he be a big time difference maker or just a limited to solid starter status? I think the upside, my point is, we're talking about cons here. I think the upside might be a little limited. Like, I don't think you're going to have a second team all pro, like Jordy Devontae type season, right? Greg Jennings type season. James Jones might be a little bit more of a ceiling for Bech, but if you could promise me James Jones with the 53rd overall pick, I'd take it every time. And you'd be insane if you disagree. Packers fit, potentially ideal, fits their height and weight, productivity. Productivity is final season would fit their productivity profile, fits their density profile, blocks. The only thing about fit, and if he's the first receiver you take in this class, is I don't know that he solves your Watson problem, right? I don't know if he solves your speed problem. I just think there's a chance he's too slow to fix that problem, but not too slow to have a major impact on the Packers moving forward, right? You got Romeo Dobbs' contract coming up after this year. You've got, Wicks's contract and Reed's contract coming up after next year. They just need good players under contract, and I think that's what Jack Bech is going to be. Overall, he's my 50th player overall right now. He's got a solid second-round grade. I got a lot of guys in this class with a second-round grade. I think he's a plus starter. Question would be like, WR1. Yeah, can he be one of the best 32 wide receivers? That's what a WR1 is. Can he be one of the best 32 wide receivers in the NFL? I don't know. Can he be your best guy on a championship team? I don't know. But I think he's going to be a damn good NFL football player. Folks, thank you so much for listening or watching if you're here on YouTube. Buy the draft guide. Go visit Badger State Brewing and do everything you're supposed to do here on the Pack a Day Podcast YouTube channel. Click the bell to get the notifications. Subscribe so that you can get every bit of Packers content that you require on a daily basis. Have a great rest of your week, guys, and go Pack Go.